Welcome, and thank you for your interest in Oregon's career and technical education programs. This is the first of several short updates about Perkins 5. As you know, the federal government reauthorized Perkins funding on July 18th of last year. We are currently in our transition year and will go to full implementation on Perkins 5 on July 1st of 2020. Here are 5 things you should know about Oregon's new CTE state plan. First of all, we need to integrate our work. It's more than just about what we're doing at high schools, community colleges, or in other post-secondary options. It's about our Oregon STEM hubs. It's about involving our Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, about our Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, High School Success, Measure 98, and the new Student Success Act. We're building a collaborative plan that produces coherence and cohesiveness to our state. Under Perkins 4, the concentration was on programs of study with a sequence of courses starting in high school and aligning to community colleges' degrees and certificates. Oregon-approved programs of study with sequences of courses are still at the heart of Perkins 5. However, with Perkins 5, we'll also need to expand what we're doing to include a broader pipeline of students and learners into CTE. The plan will include workforce alignment of secondary and post-secondary partners, engaging stakeholders around the state who will be actively involved with identifying the needs and implementation of CTE programs of study. There'll be a focus on work-based learning and building stronger partnerships with our business and industry partners. There'll be an increased focus on the size, scope, and quality of CTE programs to ensure that they meet the needs of the community. And to enhance the student experience, a new focus on continuous quality improvement, or CQI, will help identify the areas where you can broaden the facilities and equipment you have available while expanding equity and participation and developing a cohesive career exploration and development exercise. Not just through paper or online applications, but through a focus on CQI. Second, funding will be tied to needs. This means that all plans for spending CTE funds will need to be based on an assessment of the gaps and weaknesses of your program as well as its strengths. The process for funding under Perkins 5 will start with an assessment of local needs, and that assessment must involve local stakeholders. There will also be an assessment of regional needs that engages business and industry workforce development. These plans will be approved by ODE, and then funding will be released to recipients. These are the assessment requirements by federal law. The size, scope, and quality of program needs to be assessed with how the programs are implemented. They must be aligned to labor market data and information. They must be aligned to student performance review with strategies for special populations. It must include strategies for educator recruitment, retention, and training. The federal law points out that stakeholders must include teachers, administrators, and career guidance and academic counselors from both secondary and post-secondary institutions. It should also include instructional support staff, workforce development boards, business and industry representatives, students, including representatives from special populations, and agencies and coordinators of out-of-school youth, homeless children, and at-risk youth. It should also include tribal consultation. Here's the third thing you should know. We began the public engagement with a kickoff meeting in April of 2019. We invited educators, CTE administrators at both secondary and post-secondary institutions, CTE regional coordinators, STEM hub directors, business, labor, and industry partners, and community partners to a meeting to help guide the direction of Oregon's CTE state plan. We also sent out a survey that had participation from over 500 individuals across the state. In the spring, we continued our listening to the hopes and needs of constituents around CTE in Oregon. We met with tribal representatives, community groups, CTE leaders and educators, STEM directors, dual credit coordinators, and others. This summer, we hosted work groups to help draft components of the plan. Our goal is to have draft comments available for feedback this fall. After collecting that feedback, we'll draft the full plan in December of 2019. Then the full plan will be available for governor's signature and formal public comment in February and March of next year. Our goal is to submit the full CTE state plan to the federal government in April of 2020. Here's number 4, process for planning. This must be robust and intentional. As we said, this summer, ODE had 4 stakeholder work group meetings. The Data and Accountability Work Group compiled recommendations including definitions of student population indicators and determined state levels of performance. The Program Approval and Review Work Group focused on the improvements to the current program approval and reviewed policies and procedures that most affect program quality and equity. The Work-Based Learning Work Group focused on identifying elements of high-quality, work-based learning in secondary and post-secondary CTE. This work group also worked on developing consistent definitions and standards, along with using Perkins 5 to scale and sustain elements throughout the Oregon CTE system. The last work group, Career and Exposure, examined quality career awareness exploration and advising practices with a focus on providing these experiences earlier in the lives of students, especially in middle school. Additional work including the stakeholders include needs assessment, application process, teacher recruitment, and fiscal accountability. And here's the 5th thing you should know. This is about career guidance and work-based learning. This includes career guidance for all. The idea of informed decisions, a key concept in Perkins 5, is the idea that academic, career, and technical education decisions need to be informed by the best information available to guide the student on their pathway. Work-based learning is critical. It's listed in Perkins 5 explicitly as an important part of the experience that students have as they explore careers. Perkins 5 indicates that work-based learning can include simulated work environments. Now, being in the workforce directly is considered to be a very high value, but this experience could very well be replicated within the school setting using appropriate facilities and equipment. Combined with collaborative guidance and invaluable advisement of business, labor, and industry partners, faculty can be supported with new techniques and equipment suggestions as part of the continuous quality improvement process. That's the top 5 things you need to know about Perkins 5 for right now. Keep an eye on your email for additional updates and requests for stakeholder participation. You can also bookmark the ODE webpage for Perkins 5. This link and email address for our director, Laura.Folye, is in the comment section below. Thank you.